So Dynamite was last night, a fucking good ass show. The card obviously we had announced beforehand, we done our predictions, and obviously we had a bunch of stuff going into it leading this basically where we got a lot of stuff for Double or Nothing, and obviously the Owen Hart tournament brackets were announced. So yeah, let's get into it because I actually really enjoyed it tonight. So the show actually opened up with it was showing MJF walking in. Obviously with tonight it was decided if he would go bald if he signs the contract, and he's walking past through backstage, and he keeps like Renee asks him like, what are you gonna do if you go bald? And then he just walks off pissed, and he keeps walking past bald people, and then like he walks past like a bunch of backstage crew, then like, you know, a bunch of other like enhanced talent. Johnny Hungy, we got John Silver on Dynamite, what the fuck? And he walks past, he's made up, he's just jolly. Fucking love John Silver. And then Ciampa comes up to him and takes his hat off and just looks at him like that, and he goes, oh, I think he didn't even say that, he just walks off. And then Ricochet standing with the demand, and he goes, hey Max, takes the hat off and goes, hey, don't worry, if you go bald you'll look good, don't worry, you know, but you won't look as good as me. And he's just pissed and he walks off. I thought that was hilarious. I just thought it was so stupid. Again, John Silver and Big 26, we're winning. But yeah, it really sets the tone for what Max is going through. He's stressed beyond belief about this shit, and I really enjoyed that. But yeah, fun little way to open Dynamite, really sets the tone and obviously continues the way throughout. But yeah, I really enjoyed that. It was really stupid. Our first match of the night was actually our 10-man tag, which was the Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson. It was Orange Cassidy with them and Cage and Cope versus FTR, the Dogs, and Ciampa. So this was kind of a fun match. It was a mess, as you expect from a 10-man tag, what you expect. A lot of the thing is with these 10-man tags, they can be so messy, and I kind of just gloss over that fact. Like, they are messy and they're hard to break down, but not like, it's not to the point where it's bad wrestling or anything. It's great wrestling, it really is. It's chaotic, it's fun, it's exactly what you expect. But like, you get fun little character moments. Again, like with this shit, you get a bunch of Cassidy shit, like he's doing the block against the chops. That was pretty fun. Ciampa being in there adds that cool intensity. I enjoyed this. It wasn't bad. Like, again, it was, with this match, it's one of them where it feels like it's serving a purpose to build. It feels like we're just going to acknowledge this and then we're just going to move forward. I would have done a bit more with it. I think, like, again, they could have, I don't know, I feel like they just kind of just used an excuse to go ball. Like, it was a big moment when Cage and Cope and the Bucks were obviously team, and that's a big deal in itself, obviously. But yeah, it's a fine match. Do I really hate it? No. Do I love it? No. I just thought it was fine. Again, these 10-man tags are kind of hard for me. I like them. I think they're fun. I just don't think they're like the best things ever. You know what I mean? I feel like sometimes I watch it and I'm like, you know what I mean? So, I don't know. But point is, after the match, Cage, the face team win, Bucks, Cassidy, and Cage and Cope. And then Christian gets a massive pop. That was pretty cool. And then they're standing tall and they're about to chase them off. They hit him. It was the Bucks hit the super kick, then the spear. That was by Copeland. That was really cool, actually. I really enjoyed that. But yeah, as a match, it was fine. After the match, it basically, you know, they all just go their separate ways, just, you know, building more for Double or Nothing. It feels like the AEW always has this issue where when they've got a match built for a pay-per-view that's kind of a big match and it's announced a lot earlier, they kind of come to a point where it's just at a point now, and then like there's 2 weeks left to build, so they just kind of let them do whatever, and it's like, this has definitely hit that point. But is that a bad thing? Not really, no. It's just something that deserves to be acknowledged. But either way, match was fine. It's not particularly my cup of tea, but it's, you know, it's not my cup of tea. It's just not something I'd rave about or watch again. But that's just me. It was really fun, as you expect from these 10-man tags. After this, we actually get backstage on the roof segment. It's the Death Riders training again with Will Ospreay, and basically the Death Rider, Danny Garcia is doing this whole, you know, we're Death Riders. I don't know what that was. And then it's like Claudio, Pac, and Marina throwing ball to then hit it back. That was pretty cool. And then you've got Moxley showing Ospreay how to do this specific choke, how he forces the neck. It's just, you know what I mean, and Ospreay's balanced on his neck, clearly showing the neck. Him and Ospreay talk, and he's just like, how you feeling? And he's like, I'm good, you know, it's just, it feels wild, you know, just basically enhancing that more. You know, it's definitely cool. I really enjoy the Ospreay and Death Rider stuff, I really do. and it's definitely building, obviously with the match tonight and something that does happen. But either way, fun little segment, and then he just goes, "God damn it, Yuta," and goes back for no reason. He just starts fucking pissing off at Yuta, so I don't know why. But either way, Ospreay is definitely conflicted, but it is getting really good, definitely. So after this, we actually get our Stadium Stampede, a little hype package, as you expect. Obviously, we get, a bit more of an announcement, obviously. So on Collision, it got confirmed that, Jack Perry is going to invite Bucks and Kenny to help out to Jericho and the Hurt Syndicate, which people thought the Hurt Syndicate weren't in it no more. They definitely were, and they definitely are. They announced that to this. Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin are helping Jericho still. So that's why the numbers have been upgraded. So that means, obviously, Ricochet and the Demand were left short. Now, Mark Davis had the match with Perry, and Don Callis offered, his services, saying, "Look, I'll help you out. I'll give you some members." And this is where we get the confirmation that we do get confirmation that Mark Davis will be helping. Obviously, we knew, but also Andrade El Idolo is going to be in the match. Fuck yeah. Where's El Clon? I need El Clon in that match. You don't understand. I just need that. I need El Clon. But either way, this is fun. I don't know if they announced anymore, because obviously the numbers would be out. But it feels like, I don't know, I feel like they've fully confirmed it. Top of my head, I don't really know. Point is, this is cool. Stadium Stampede, it was definitely a lackluster announcement, and feels like just to kind of get it on there. But the roster they've built now looks pretty better, so it's getting at least more interesting from my point. After this, we actually get our standby match, weirdly, because the Speedball Mike Bailey takes on, I think it was Respirate. I didn't get his name. They didn't put the title card up, so that was pretty dumb. But we get a standby match. Speedball takes care of him quite simply. Then, obviously, so after the match, it was pretty quick. I mean, not really much to say. Then I'm enjoying that. Speedball still getting time. I am enjoying that. Then he grabs the mic, and him and Kevin Knight comes out to him on obviously Kevin Knight was open challenge, which follows this. And then basically Speedball goes, Kevin goes, "Yeah, Speedball, we got good tag plans and stuff." And Speedball goes, "No, I want that world title." I was like, oh, Speedball getting a shot at that. I'm not against that. So straight away, we actually got our Kevin Knight TNT Open Challenge, which straight away, so I thought, for me going into this, I thought Shibata was the obvious call. Obviously, because you get, the Collision match, he clearly even stated it, saying he wants the Shibata match, so that made sense to me. But no, we actually got the return of Brian Cage of the Don Callis family. He looks great. Really nice to see Brian Cage back. I like Brian Cage a lot. Hopefully this gives him and Lance Archer something to fucking do. Yeah, I didn't... Brian Cage got fucking cleared a while ago. So it's nice to see that a while ago, like 3 weeks ago. So, it feels like, now is a good time. I wasn't against that. I thought that was pretty fun. The match itself was fine, obviously what you expect. Brian Cage looks great. He doesn't looks like he's got too much ring rust or anything. He looks pretty good. Again, looks shredded. Really nice to see Brian Cage back. I really am excited about this. Obviously, a bit more Don Callis family, but Brian Cage is pretty fucking good. Kevin Knight obviously retains the belt. That was pretty cool. And they don't set nothing up further from this, which is pretty fun. So, Brian Cage can actually have a bit more freedom to do what he wants. I hope to God he just isn't like a bodyguard for Don Callis like Lance Archer's been. But Brian Cage return is pretty cool. I'm happy about that, actually. Brian Cage has been in AEW for God knows how long now, and the guy can fucking go. The guy's jacked as hell. He's a really good wrestler, and him being in the TNT, maybe not staying in the TNT scene because that's such a stacked division, but I feel like him and Kevin was a good call. Would I've still done Shibata? Yeah, I would have. I feel like I've got bias in that, obviously, but I feel like Brian Cage was a bit out of left field, which was pretty cool. Shibata would have made sense from a story perspective, but Brian Cage being that return, I think he could have done that on its own. To be honest, I think he could have had that in any backstage segments or any sort of. But Brian Cage getting a moment with some minutes in ring, pretty cool. The match was pretty good too. Nothing insane, like I said. It's what you expect from Kevin. So smooth. But either way, as an actual match, pretty good. Excited Brian Cage back. Hope they actually give him something to do. That's the main thing. So after this, we actually get our Owen Hart Cup men's brackets announced. Now, I'm not going to talk about them now. Probably I'm going to do a separate video on that because there's a lot of this in the women's. There's a lot to fucking talk about. But the main thing we should talk about is obviously Samoa Joe and Will Ospreay at first round. That's the big thing we talk about here. So we'll talk about I'll make a separate video on the Owen, me reactions and stuff, so how it goes up against the predictions, obviously. But The main thing is Joe and Ospreay get their first round match. Pretty good. And then basically after this we get a small Jack Perry promo calling out Mark Davis for the Stadium Stampede, and continues it, if you don't like that, fuck you. I don't know why, I just think that's a funny catchphrase for the guy. I think that's really good. But yeah, that one I'll talk about in a separate video, so please don't think I'm just skimming over that. This and the women's too, because they're both fucking stellar. So yeah, we'll make separate videos on that. So after this, we actually get our Will Ospreay versus Ace Austin match. This for me, match of the night for me, and that's saying something because we got Darby and fucking Takeshita, which is high bar. I thought this match, it was just pure athleticism highlighted, and I think that is possibly one of the biggest compliments I could give. Ace Austin just is so fucking good. I think everyone knows how good Ace is, and it's just a matter of getting him in somewhere. Obviously he's with the Bang Bang Gang, but it's hard to get him on minutes because Bang Bang Gang's so limited without Jay White. And again, where the fuck is he? But just Austin is so good. He's so good. You gotta just put him in there. I wouldn't be against Austin winning the singles belt. I wouldn't be against them having that national belt as soon as fucking possible. Just, you gotta give the guy something. Obviously, Ospreay's the main talking point with the Death Riders. Is there a change in his style? Yeah, a bit. Not insane, but he's definitely got some sort of differences. But with Ace is just so fucking... The chemistry these two have, it genuinely is like water. It's like fucking smooth. It's so... They just blend, and it's so good. Like, everything, it's not like they're so similar. It's just like Ospreay styles like yin, and then the other one's like yang. It's an excellent chemistry. It really is. It's one of the best modern matches with chemistry I've seen. It really is. And then as it continues, again, Ace Austin just doing some mad shit. Ace Austin proves how innovative he is, and I don't really give him that credit. He's very fucking innovative. Like, a lot of shit. Like, he does like this weird drop kick through the two ropes on the corner. He just has a lot of shit in his locker. Obviously does the handstand, but Ospreay, again, being a bit more brutal now. He's not as aggressive, but he's a bit more brutal. He starts attacking the arm, specifically the arm, and that's very important for the finish. Now, obviously, Ospreay does this brutal hidden blade. He does another standing hidden blade, which is sick. And again, this is the thing with Ospreay's style here. It's not as high flying, and this is what I really appreciate about the Death Riders. They're clearly protecting his neck, obviously, but they're adapting the style, which makes a bit more sense too, which, again, Ospreay can handle. It's fucking Will Ospreay. He's one of the best in the world, if not ever. And I think what I love about this is they didn't really draw... Moxley and Marina weren't outside the ring. That's what surprised me. I thought that was going to happen. But in the match, it was just... You could tell it was a difference. Not crazy, but a difference. Like I say, Ace Austin's kicks and Ospreay's kicks. A lot of kicks from Ospreay. Scorpion kicks, shit like that. Just brilliant. Honestly, just... Is it like, it's not the most insane match where you're like off your feet or anything like Brian Ospreay, you know what I mean? It's never going to be like that, enough it is. But it's just got this sense of smooth ability. You just watch it and you're like, how have these guys got that much chemistry? And that's what I enjoy. It's not explosive, it's just okay. Like, and every hit feels impactful, not that they don't, but it's a real good showcase of chemistry and just how good these two are. Again, you gotta push Ace Austin. He's too good to just be sitting there waiting for someone to come back. You gotta push the guy on his own now. He's too fucking good. He didn't come out with the Bang Bang Gang. He didn't come out with Juice or anything. Pretty fucking ass. He should come out with Juice and Austin and the Guns and stuff. I don't care. But Ace Austin, the fucking man. But the finish was cool. So Ospreay obviously goes... Ospreay's damaged the arm, and basically he goes for the finish with the hidden blade, and he gets the hidden blade. Austin's out, like basically out, and Ospreay's teasing the standing, and then goes for it, but he goes for a jumping armbar, and Ace Austin taps immediately, and it's like, Jesus Christ, like the fact that he lands that, it just proves how good it is. And that's obviously a Death Rider's clear fucking, with Moxley's interference, clear input, and that's what I really enjoyed. It definitely feels like there's an evolution with Ospreay going on, and that's what they were able to convey. That was the best thing about this. But as an actual match, the chemistry, everything is incredible. However, Straight after the match is a big fucking deal. As soon as the match finished, you get the Samoa Joe's theme, which hits like fucking crack. And then he comes out with Bowens and Shibata. Bowens fitting in like a fucking nothing. It does not fit in, but it's better than Hook, so we will not complain. And then he's basically just saying to Ospreay straight, Ospreay, I know you got something going on. Fate hands us this chance to face on the Owen, but you know, you heard me and you didn't answer. You know, end of the day, I was going to look after my friends, but you know, you want to be Jon Moxley's laugh dog, you little Death Rider. And all you can see Ospreay mouthing off, I'm not a Death Rider. Yeah, whatever. And then basically Joe's like, you know, I'm gonna let you leave because, you know, I'll beat your ass basically in the Owen. But my friends here, Shibata and Bowens, they're not so forgiving, and he sends them two to go after him. And then Ospreay's waiting, and Shibata is there, yeah. And then basically he's waiting for them two to attack, and then the Death Riders theme hits. Oh, it's so good. And they come out, and all of them, not just some of them, all of them, and they're just surrounding the ring, and like they look pissed as well. And Moxley is fucking loving it. And then so like the Shibata and Bowens just walk away. They realise, and Joe's like, what the fuck? And then main thing is Ospreay's looking around like, what? He didn't expect that. And he's looking at like Moxley like a bit pissed, but also like, what the fuck? So it's like there's clearly the tension still there with like Ospreay. Ospreay's not like unaware of what Moxley's doing, but he's accepting it because it's benefiting him, and it's just going to end up being this whole surge of whatever the fuck it's going to be. But this was excellent. This was definitely the way to get Joe and Ospreay having their moments, being built for a few weeks. Obviously Moxley and the Ops have got history, but Moxley protecting Ospreay very much seems in his favour, and that's the vibe you got with it, and that's what I really enjoyed. I thought they would have confirmed something for next week, weirdly. I don't know why, but I really did. But I think as an actual moment, the match as well with Ace is phenomenal, but the moment with Joe and Ospreay and the Death Riders, perfection, absolute perfection. Couldn't have done much more with it, and honestly, no Hook adds a hell of a lot, and I'm not even kidding, genuinely. The fact that Hook isn't here really elevates this moment. I don't know how we've made this to manage the fuck Hook segment, but it needs to be said. But either way, I really enjoyed this match. I enjoyed the match, I enjoyed the segment. This was easily my moment of the night, and again, with the main event being as good as it was, is a definite, real big statement. After this, we actually have backstage Don Callis and Konosuke Takeshita talking about their match before, obviously with Darby, and how it's going to be, you know, a bit more going forwards, you know, like basically hyping him up, saying Takeshita will be the champ and will basically beat Okada's ass too. And then as soon as that happens, Max comes out, MJF, and he's like, Takeshita, and he starts praising Takeshita, saying, when I beat you, which is one of my favourite ever promos, kiss my ass. I love that. And we speak American. He's such a dick. And then he basically goes to Takeshita, basically buttering up, going, Takeshita, I think you're one of the best refs in the world. How about me and you for the AEW World title? And Takeshita says something in Japanese, clearly besmirching him, shakes his hand and walks off. And then Don and obviously Max are going, what's going on? Max goes, Don, I'm having a panic attack here, dude. I cannot afford to be some disgusting bald freak. And Don just looks at him and he goes, no offense, you look great. And then basically he gives Don the ring to make sure that Takeshita wins the match. And obviously, Don accepts it. And then, basically Max obviously trying to get the, not to go bald. And then as soon as that happens, Andrade comes out. Yeah, I need the feud. I need it to happen. I think this might be the All-In program. I really do. And then Andrade just takes his hat off and just starts waving his hair back, and Max just walks away pissed. He's so fucking good. And then obviously Don's talking, and then just says something like, we're gonna help him, stuff like that. And then Andrade goes, Don, how you know? And he's like clearly pushing it, and then he goes, Don, next time it should be my title shot. And it's like, yeah, fuck yeah, the money man. I just fucking love it. Don Callis has become a vocal stint for me, and I don't know why. I just think the guy's hilarious. But yeah, MJF and Don obviously have a history. Just give me MJF and Andrade sooner than later, because I need this shit. This is it's easily one of the best built feuds of the entire year. It needs to just kick off because I love it. I love it so much. After this, we actually get our women's Owen tournament bracket, which again we'll make a separate video of, but just to reiterate, holy fuck. Holy fuck. We'll talk about that. We'll break it down because Jesus, that's the better one by an absolute country mile. That is the better one. But then after it, we get a conglomeration backstage with Orange, Roddy, Kyle, and Willow. I haven't seen Willow with the conglomeration in a while. And basically they talk about they have got the tag title shot eventually, whoever it is, and they just want to talk about they need to decide who it's going to be. And Kyle straight up says it should be Roddy and Orange, and he goes, thank you, like already goes, Kyle, thank you. And then Kyle goes, end of the day, I've got singles gold. And I'm like, oh. And then he goes, yeah, the guy who laid me out, if it's like how long I was. And I'm like, oh. And he goes, John, when are we going to run it back? I tapped you out twice. I'm like, yes! This is the end goal with Kyle. There's no way this isn't the end goal. It has to be the end goal. It has to give him the belt. That's the one guy who should be beating Moxley. If it's not going to be Ospreay eventually, which I think Ospreay wouldn't have wailed, it has to be Kyle O'Reilly. There's no debate in my mind. That's what it has to be. The fact that they're building this, yes, just don't throw it away. Just don't make it just a random match to get him on there. This has to be built. Now, as much as I'm happy with that, Willow obviously talked about how she's going to defend the TBS title, and obviously she was announced in the Owen tournament. And then after this, Roddy goes, look, I think we should do the word of the day. We haven't done the word of the day. And I'm like, oh. And then they go, yeah. And then Roddy just goes, Mark, and Briscoe's back. And Briscoe just calls out, Ciampa, I want your ass next week. And this calls him out because it's in his hometown. Briscoe's going mad. The conglomeration are back in full force. We do not give a shit about hologram. Give me Ishii back, though. But either way, Briscoe being back, the tag titles are shot, as obviously being conveyed. It's going to be Roddy and Orange. And then also Kyle going after Moxley. This was a very fucking good conglomeration segment for me. This is what I've been wanting from the conglomeration for a while. And Willow being there is also... I've always liked Willow with conglomeration. I think she should always be presented with them. But hey-ho, this I really fucking liked. This was definitely what I've been wanting from the conglomeration for a while. Thank God they've fucking done it. So, after this, we actually got our Triangle of Madness versus the Brawling Birds and Hikaru Shida trios match. Now, the match itself, didn't really like it, didn't think it was interesting, didn't think it was intriguing. I don't know, I didn't feel connected to it. I feel like there was a bit of, it just kind of happened. It felt like the crowd went into it, it was a bit silent. It was just, nothing really was going for me. Again, it's not this isn't a problem on the wrestlers. Thekla's obviously one of the best. Hayter, Shida, and Windsor all too. They all look good. It's just the match wasn't gripping itself. It just kind of like whizzed by, and it feels like it just kind of killed the momentum the show was on for me. It was on a great little roll, but then basically the match is fine. The match is fine. There's not really much to say about it. What I will say is mainly the Julia Hart uses the mist on a referee after the end, which is pretty weird. And then she uses the mist and just starts attacking. And then when basically Shida, so like she's attacking Hayter and Windsor, and she just walks away. She's like, no way, obviously because of the title shot coming up. And then this is after the match. And then after then Willow, Mina, Shirakawa, and Thunder Rosa Wheeler, who looks nothing like herself. She changed the hairstyle and stuff again. She comes down and they're all like saving out. She just walked off. And obviously they've sent the Triangle of Madness get away. It was fine. It was, I just didn't get into it. Again, this might be me. I just think, I don't know. I feel like you could have done a 1v1. I don't know. It just felt a bit weird. It made a bit more sense that Shida was teaming with the Brawling Birds because obviously the match they had going on, but they could have built up the tension for a bit of that. I don't know. I just didn't get into this. I didn't think it was great. I didn't think it was bad. Again, I feel like I just don't know. I feel like it was good to see the chemistry of Triangle of Madness. I will say that. They win. Thekla does a great, obviously, spear and stuff. That's pretty cool. But I just think I'll say it again. Tekla's the best woman in the entire roster for me, by a mile, at this point in time. And I just feel like sometimes it just feels like they're forcing her sometimes. I just think Thekla deserves better presentation. But again, nothing wrong with it. We're into the match. Sets up the 4-way and double or nothing. Just kind of it. Not really much else to say. It just kind of exists. And that's fine. Not bad, but just not for me. After this, we actually get our main event, however. We get the AEW Men's World title match between Darby Allin and Konosuke Takeshita. Now, the match itself, really fucking good. Really fucking good. Takeshita and Darby, a great match. It didn't need to be a one-way battering as we've had with other Darby matches, obviously with Brody and Ciampa. I just feel like this one really worked itself well in the sense of it is a bit more back and forth, but Takeshita's obvious overpowerness is just going to take Darby out. Darby's looking like it's starting to fall. And again, no fault of his own. Jesus, the dude hasn't stopped, but Jesus, like Takeshita doing the knee, and does it right to the fucking steel steps. Insane. Does a fucking blue thunder bomb off the top of turnbuckle. Does it off. It's just Takeshita brutalizes him here. Absolutely fucking brutalizes him. And I really enjoy it. Darby looks scrappy as you expect. Darby's just whole movements and demeanour, it just as a wrestler, is always dead scrappy, and I love that. I think that fits him, and I think this fits this match excellently. Again, we're talking about chemistry with Ospreay and Ace Austin. The same here. Not as good, but definitely fucking really good chemistry. The match gets tight, and you feel like it could go one way with Takeshita, obviously. But you know it's not going to, but you do feel like that, and that's definitely a credit, suspending the disbelief. Now, what the main thing in the match is, after it, or during it, Hikaru runs out while Darby's down. And then Don Callis is telling Takeshita to give the ring and then win the match. Takeshita basically has the match won. And then he doesn't. He obviously declines it. This was obviously calling. After this, Don's slating him like fuck on commentary. Absolutely destroying him, saying, I brought him for nothing. This kid's got a mind of his own. And it's like, Jesus Christ. And it's happening. He's 100% livid. And then Darby basically continues. The coffin drops here absolutely brutal. He does a coffin drop onto Takeshita. It's absolutely nasty. And then there's one where Takeshita gets the fucking knees up. The coffin drops are the main move for me. Absolutely excellent. Again with Takeshita's this Raven Rabbit kick. But Darby does get the win via a coffin drop. He basically has Takeshita beat and then goes for a coffin drop. He's looking like absolutely ragged. And then when he goes for the win, he gets him. And then it's really cool. It's a really good, well-worked match. There's no real time to look at Takeshita, going forward. That's what kind of gets me. But as soon as the match, they should have put a bit more attention on that. Darby's bleeding out the mouth. He looks fucked. Looks absolutely wiped. The match was excellent. Definitely worthy of the main event. I just didn't enjoy it as much as Ospreay Ace Austin, but that's personal preference. But I love this. I think it's not like his best match on the title reign. But again, ridiculously high bar. But it's a great match. It's a great main event. They really sold it well. And obviously the ring builds into Takeshita and Okada a bit more too. That'll work. I just enjoyed this. I really fucking enjoyed this. After the match though, Darby has the mic and he goes, Max, get your ass out here. We got a contract this time. They literally bring the table out, chairs out, they get the contract out, and Max comes out. Max looks pissed at the crowd, screaming ball down him. He's stalling. He doesn't really, you can tell he's coming to sign it and then walks away. He doesn't want to sign it. And then he grabs the mic and goes, Darby, let me tell you something. I'm going to end this little 15 minutes of fame. Clearly stalling. Says, I'm not like Hangman Adam Page. I'm kind of happy for you, but at the end of the day, I'm going to destroy that happiness. And then basically Darby goes, Max, shut up, sign the contract. I want you to be a ball bitch, a double or nothing. Max signs the contract, shows it up, which I was surprised about. I thought they were going to do a workaround here, but they never. And then Max instantly spears Darby, which is very weird. I've not seen Max do a spear. And then he starts beating the fuck out of Darby, clears the ring, throws the belt out the way, gets the diamond ring, beats the fuck out of Darby, grabs the belt, holds it 3 times because that's what he wants to be, then walks away. Then comes back when he looks back at Darby and goes to do a tombstone off the top turnbuckle at Darby. And then as he's about to do it, Kevin Knight runs out. He didn't play Kevin's music. They should have. They clearly were going to. It's really good. They're really building this. I didn't expect them to build this well. Obviously, the match is excellent with Takeshita and Darby. That was excellent. I really enjoyed this. I thought it was excellent. I thought it worked itself well. I'm looking forward to Double or Nothing. Obviously, Darby now will be facing Max at Double or Nothing. And if Max loses, he goes bald. I don't know how they do this. That's what I really like. I don't know if they're going to have the balls to do it. Either way, this I like. The main event was good. Everything about it. The main event is similar, like the Ospreay and Death Rider stuff. And this with Max, with Darby, these two were so, in terms of quality, so similar. I really enjoyed it. It was an excellent way to close off the show. I thought it was excellent in general. Really fucking good. So yeah, that's obviously Dynamite. I thought the show was excellent. I think, again, the only real, it feels like it kind of went in 2 halves. First hour, and they're kind of symmetrical. The first hour was the 10-man I weren't really into. Then it got into itself, and then it got really good. And then as the second one started, it was kind of Then it got to the and then it ends on obviously the Ospreay and the Darby, Takeshita, and then Max stuff. I thought it was just a really good show. I do think, again, we could have got Kenny. I feel like we're missing a lack of Kenny, and obviously with Swerve too. But the Owen stuff was great. I feel like we could have got a bit more build to that. I feel like that was kind of a bit like, oh, whatever. You know what I mean? We should just announce it. I feel like that should be a big ordeal like they do with the C2. Again, I think they should present it a bit more bigger. However, as overall Dynamite, this Dynamite showcases what Dynamite is, and it's the best TV wrestling. And it's not like a dig, it just is true. And I feel like that's, even like something like Ace Austin and Ospreay, that shouldn't be as good as a wrestling match as it is, but it fucking is. And like, that's what I really enjoy. It really shows the example of how good AEW TV is. And for me, I watch it every week. It really exemplifies that. And obviously a lot of people aren't big on other companies at the minute. This is a perfect show to watch and understand what's going on. And obviously the build for Double or Nothing, a lot of stuff confirmed, a lot of stuff going forward. This I liked. And obviously 2 returns, Briscoe and obviously Brian Cage. Pretty good Dynamite. I really fucking enjoyed it, and I didn't expect to enjoy it as much as this week. I didn't, but I really did. I thought it was fun, and honestly, I'm looking forward to next week's because of this, and that's always the main goal for me. If you keep me invested, which it did, besides the one match, that's all that matters. Really good shit, really good Dynamite. Can't wait for Double or Nothing. So yeah, that's my thoughts on AEW Dynamite this week. Let me know what you think of the show. After, if you watched it, what was your match of the night between Darby and Takeshita, and obviously Ospreay and Ace Austin? And yeah, what was your highlights of the show? I think, again, Ospreay and Death Riders is absolutely phenomenal.